You can view the career paths of alumni from your course. You can find jobs and follow companies to receive information updates. It's a useful way to keep in touch with people like previous employers, colleagues, or other professionals that you don't necessarily want to connect with through other social media. Photograph is expected on a LinkedIn profile. That is, a face-forward, head and shoulders shot of you smiling. The detail provided in the rest of the profile is a bit like a CV, in that you can add information about your education, experience, and skills. You have a bit more space to play with here than you would with a CV, but I would suggest avoiding long paragraphs of text, as most people will just skim read. I would also avoid filling it with buzzwords. I've seen student profiles in which they've clearly copied and pasted the summary section from another user's profile because they think the wording is more professional. That kind of thing can really backfire on you. By all means, look at other people's profiles to get some inspiration, but it's important that the summary reflects you. Tip 3 is to research career options using the Alumni tool. This is a tool that I wish more students knew about. It's a very useful way to find out about graduates from your course, what they're doing now, and how they got there. You start by searching for Queen's in the main search bar. This will take you to the LinkedIn page for the university. Along the left navigation bar, you'll find a link with the title Alumni. That link will take you to a tool with search and filtering options. It shows current students as well as alumni, and obviously it's only showing the proportion of Queen's alumni who have LinkedIn profiles. However, that's still a large data set, and it's still a useful tool for exploring career options. The search boxes allow you to enter keywords and years of study, and there are 4 main filter tools which are split across 2 pages. The first page has a filter tool by geographic location and where they work in terms of the employing organisation. Queen's always appears at the top of this list because this will include all of the current students. On the second page, there are filter tools for type of work and subject of study. If you can't find your subject or the geographic location that interests you in the filter tools, just use the search. Once you've applied the filters you want, scrolling to the bottom of the page will reveal the profiles of the graduates who match those filters. You can click on their profiles to find out more about them, and depending on how much information they've provided in their profile, you can follow the career path they've taken after leaving university. So it's a very useful way to get inspiration about potential career paths. Tip 4 is to build connections. LinkedIn is a networking platform, so this part should be obvious. You can make a connection request to anyone on the platform, but one of the common complaints I hear from people who use LinkedIn is about the number of people whom they've never met, sending them generic connection requests, seemingly just to boost their own network. It's not a good strategy. Instead, it's best to connect with someone about something. For example, maybe you've just met them at an event, maybe you want to approach them about a piece of research you're conducting for a university project, or it could even be a graduate from your course that you found through the Alumni tool that you'd like to get some tips from in terms of your own career. One part of this that's going to be really important is tailoring the connection request. When you click on the connect button on someone's profile, the automatic message generated by LinkedIn will read, "I would like to add you to my professional network." Now that's fine to use if you're sending it to someone you know well, but you have an option here to add a note, and this is where you can tailor the request. There is a character limit in this note of around just 300 characters, and that's including spaces, so you need the message to be concise. I recommend using the person's name and then explaining briefly why you want to connect with them. For example, "Dear Joanne, I really enjoyed your guest lecture at Queen's earlier today. I'd like to connect with you to keep up to date with your work and your news." A tailored request like this is much more likely to get a positive response than the automatically generated message. Tip 5. You can continue to build your presence on the platform by posting, commenting, and joining relevant groups. LinkedIn groups are discussion forums for people with similar interests, and there are a lot of active groups on the platform. You can find available groups to join by using the main search tool. For example, when I enter the search term higher education, LinkedIn offers 3 search options, searching in jobs, in people, or in groups. If I choose groups, I find that there are over 5,000 groups on LinkedIn that are related in some way to higher education. I can find more information about any of these groups by choosing it from the search results. If I am not a member, I will see some overview information about the nature of the group and will be given the option to request to join. Any LinkedIn member can request to join any group, but it's up to the people who own and manage that group as to whether they will allow you to access it. This is a great way to get an insight into the discussions that professionals are having in the industry that interests you. You can post updates and comment on other people's posts both within a group and in your general LinkedIn feed. Being an active member on the platform in this way is likely to increase the views you receive on your profile and the requests you receive to connect. So if you're aiming to build your network on the platform, this is a good way to do it. Tip 6 is to follow companies and set your job search options. LinkedIn wouldn't be the first place that I would recommend students or graduates go to find work, but companies do post jobs on it. Mostly, these will be companies who also post jobs on other sites, such as My Future, Prospects or GradCracker. But there may be a few who only use LinkedIn, so it can be a useful addition to your other job search strategies. It's as simple as choosing the Jobs tab from the top navigation bar and entering a search term. General tips about job search apply. For example, here I've used the search term Chemical Engineering Intern, but you would also want to try using terms such as Chemical Engineering Student Placement or Process Engineering Placement. Once you've got your search results, you can create an alert to be notified when other jobs are posted that match this criteria. There are also some filter options to help you work through the search results. You can use the main search tool to also search for organisations. A lot of organisations have their own spaces on LinkedIn and they post news updates as well as jobs. In this example, I'm searching for Penguin Random House Publishing. If you choose the follow button on their page, their news updates will appear in your LinkedIn newsfeed. Now, this is a good way to keep up to date with what's happening with that organisation and in that industry. It can be particularly useful for interview preparation. LinkedIn also provides some suggestions of similar organisations that you may wish to follow.